everybody, it's Kathy Champion, and you're back in my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. And today we're going to explore the Edith Club kit for September. I got this a few days ago, but I had been busy with the last card that I made out of the August kit, as well as some of my Stampin' Up items. So I do apologize, but you know, I am doing two channels, so bear with me. Anyway, moving along to what we're dealing with today. The paper pad that I got was already separated, so I think this may have been not on a card, but actually a loose paper pack. So this is what mine consisted of. I separated it so that each piece of paper is represented on each side, so I don't have to flip. But look at this. This is beautiful, old-timey photos, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love that page. I mean, it was one of my favorite. Then, as you can see, this one. And then, oh, I need to flip like this. And then we have this that looks like handwritten notes. And then we have this piece here that is very, very old letter postcard type piece. And then we have newspaper clippings. This is absolutely beautiful. This looks like it may have been at the turn of the century. And both sides are the same thing. One looks more weathered, the other one looks more crisp. But a beautiful offering. This looks like an old piece of paper. And look at this. I have fallen in love with that picture of that little girl. That is precious. So we are going to explore this paper a little bit more. Postage stamps, which are very vintage. And then we have this piece. Another postmark page. An old ledger. I don't know if you can see that, but it's beautiful. Some grid paper. Maps. More grid paper. And maps. And then we have this very old vintage looking piece of paper. Look how it looks worn on the edge. So pretty. And we have more maps, newspaper, and these tiny little postcards. Aren't they gorgeous? So I need to decide how we're going to use this and what piece do I want to use first. Now, I fell in love with that picture of that little girl. This page right here. So I'm going to pull this one out first because I'm thinking I want to do something with her. And I am thinking that I want to do something with these letters and the postcards. So I just need to decide exactly what I want to do. But before we go any further, let me show you the rest of what we have in our kit. Look, before we go into our little bag of goodies here, I am going to show you the rest of this pack. And here we have all of our postage stamps. And this was actually in the card. I mean, this is a freebie that you can go in and print off if you are a member of the E-Club kit. So if you need more of those, you can get them. This feels like, I know it's a piece of cardboard, but it almost feels like cork. It's beautiful, and I think it was put in there to keep these from getting bent. And kudos to Miss Edith this time. My pack had do not bend. My mail carrier did not force it or double it to put it in my mailbox. They actually brought it to my door and left it on the porch. So I do appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Edith. That was wonderful. This looks like grid paper. And we got several pages of this. I think this could be used for a journal. And I know that Miss Edith is into a lot of journaling, so this would make beautiful journal paper. I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate it in my cards, but we'll see. We'll see what I come up with. And then we have some cardstock. This is a beautiful beige that will go good with the browns and stuff. And then we have this beautiful piece of teal. I always love the cardstock that we get in our e-kits. So there's what we have there. And I'm going to lay this over here and this right there. We also got a bottle of Nouveau Crystal Drops, and this is in the color Antique Rose. And I dropped some of this off just to kind of see what it would look like if we did some enamel dots. And they are beautiful. They're like rose-colored little pearl, flat back pearls, and they, the Nouveau has a self-leveling in it. And it is wonderful. So I'm going to pull out everything that's in our little goodie bag. We have some tickets. Aren't those pretty? Here's a little metallic leaf. Very pretty, very delicate. We have some tickets. This is United Railroads. So I guess this would have been a ticket for the railroad. We have some more ephemera, quite a bit of ephemera. I'm going to lay this over here. We had some little corners for the photos, which is beautiful. And then all of this ephemera, 2 for 5 cents. We've got the little hand with the finger pointing, which would be cute to point at something on a card. More of the little tickets, a little special delivery. Just a little round. Here is a purchase receipt, Hotel Mondale, and that says Paris. We have a globe, another little circle, and this is a ticket that actually bends in the middle. Admit one. And then we have all of these little paper doilies. Look at these. I mean, there's just bukus of them. And these usually pull apart. So you can, like right there, look at that. These are so delicate and so pretty. I love that. Then we have these little things that are cut in, they look like tags. But they are sewn together. And look how thick they are. These are like 2 or 3 fabrics thick. They would be so pretty to put a picture on, one of those tickets on one of these. You could also punch a hole in it. You could probably even stamp on these. So many wonderful things, and you get 1, 2, 3 of those, and then you get this beautiful, and it's called Lacy Trim in Cream. And look at this beautiful trim. These are gorgeous. I'm not going to open mine right yet. Maybe I can pull it out of the cellophane so that you can see it, because sometimes it does such a glare, especially with my studio lights. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the detail. This right here would be gorgeous on the edge of a card, the bottom edge of a card, up the side. These are beautiful. I can't wait to try those. But these were my 2 pieces that I cut. And I think what I want to do is I want this little girl to be the center of my card. So I'm going to move all of this over here, along with my Nouveau Drops, and along with my little enamel dots. I'm going to lay those all the way up to the top. And what I want to do first is I want to cut her out. I'm going to use my paper trimmer because I don't always do that great with scissors. So I am going to try cutting that where I can get a nice even border. Just like that. Oh, so pretty. Oh, look at her. Is she not adorable? I think I want to frame her with those little pieces around the edge of the photo. And these are adhesive on one side. So once I put these on, I'm not going to want to mess with these. See, they're adhesive. And I think they're going to be beautiful on this picture. Now once I get these little corner edges on, I'm going to lay that upside down because I don't want it to adhere to anything while I prepare the rest of my cardstock. So I think the next thing I want to do is go ahead and cut that piece of teal. And I am going to cut the registration mark off first. Better yet, remember what I told you about cutting the registration? If you pull out your arm and you get your true 11-inch piece, you're pretty much going to get that off every time, just where it needs to be. And then you have a perfect 11-inch piece of cardstock. So I'm going to cut this in half at 5.5. And I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. Did y'all see what I did? I cut it instead of scored it. That's okay. Thank goodness we have another piece. So we are going to score this. I'm going to move that blade down out of my way. And I do that ever so often, not real often, but just every once in a blue moon. I will forget, and I'll just grab the wrong blade. So we're going to bend this into place. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of my way just for a moment. And once I get this folded like I need it to be, just like that, then I am going to decide how I want to cut this piece. So let me think on that and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, what I have decided that I want to do, and I think I want to do it with this piece of paper here, I want to put some angles on this card, but I want to leave a little bit of a border. So we know that this card is 4 1/4. So I'm going to take that 1/4 away so I can have that 1/4 inch, which will give us 1/8 of an inch when I cut this to 2. So I'm going to cut this down to 2 inches, and then I'm going to cut some angled pieces off of it. So I'm going to take 2 inches off right here, and I'll show you how I plan on doing that. And I'm hoping this is going to work the way that planned it out in my head. You know, things don't always come together like we think they are, but we'll see. And I'm bringing y'all along for the ride. Alright, there's my 2-inch piece. And I am going to cut 2 inches this way. Maybe I want to go a little bit deeper. Let's see. So I'm going to put that right there. No, I think I want to do 2 inches. So I'm going to cut 2 inches this way. And I'm going to get 2 inches off the other end because I like that look of the postcards / letters. I think it's very vintage and I think it's going to serve me well. So what I want to do with these 2 pieces, I'm going to put them back in my trimmer on an angle, this assures that we're going to get a good angle cut. And I'm going to take my blade and I'm going to sink it in the middle, just like that, and then I'm going to slice up and down. This should give us the perfect piece that we need to go right here and right here, and that is exactly what I wanted. And we have another one, so we're going to cut this one here and here. Well, all you want to do is line the point into your track of your trimmer, close your blade down on it, sink that blade down in. You can feel it when it goes into the paper, and then you slice up and slice down. That will always assure that you're getting that in exactly where you want it. So what I'm trying to do is mimic the little corners like we put on this picture. And I think this is going to be really pretty. We might use one of those doilies. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and commit this. I'm seeing if I want to put one of these up here. This looks cute because this will look like a postage stamp. So yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and commit myself with my art glitter glue. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm getting a good amount of glue. You don't want too much, but you want enough that's going to stick these corners. So run it to the edge. And now I am going to stick that down just like so. Now I am putting it down on the textured side of the paper, and when you get this, you'll notice that one side of this paper is smooth and the other side is textured. I'm putting the textured side to the outside, and now I'm going to put this one right here. Again, you want to be cautious to make sure you get that little 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch border around these pieces, because that's what's going to make this look so pretty. And I'm going to do one here. And if you notice, it will almost come together. Let's see. That side. This is going to have such a vintage look, and I love that vintage look. I think it's very attractive. So we're going to put this one down right about there. And I'm going to use that bone folder just to press this in. Just like that. And then I'm going to put glue on this last piece. I love looking at these kits every month and seeing what's in them, and then just getting creative and see what I can come up with each and every one of them. And I challenge y'all to do the same thing, because we don't all have the same, I guess, vision for cards or anything. So I think it makes it really interesting just to see what we can come up with. Alright, I'm going to look back in my paper because I remember seeing a piece that I think would look absolutely gorgeous and to put that picture down on. And that is this piece right here. Oops. So what I want to do is use that piece and cut myself a circle or an oval to go right here. And then we can put this picture right into that. I think that'll be so, so pretty. I'm trying to decide if I want to get some glue to put on this. They're very sticky on the back, so I think once we get them placed down, I think we'll be good to go. But I am going to decide which oval I want to use. And again, I want to use something that's very vintage, something that looks very, I guess, old world. But yet I need that piece to be able to fit inside of it. So let's open up our oval dies. And let's see, what do we have in here that we can use? Let's see, will this one work? That will definitely work in the middle. Now the question is whether or not this will fit in there. So I'm not sure if it will or not. So nope, that's going to be a little bit short. So let's look at the larger die and see if that will work. And I think that's going to cover up too much of our... So this is my thought process whenever I'm making a card. I will just keep trying until I find just that piece that will work perfectly. We also have these little stitched ovals that are very pretty. And these are taller and a little skinnier, so that this just may work. Maybe I don't want to use the little corners after all. And again, I thought these would look really cute on there, but I want that picture to fill in the oval. And this picture is so cute. We can cut this down just a little bit more, and we can actually cut this out in another oval and make it look even prettier. So all I'm going to do is just put these back on the adhesive sheet, because we will use these, because I think they're so vintage and so cute. So what I want to do is I think I want to trim this picture out a little bit more just to make it a little bit smaller, and then we are going to corner the edges of it. So I'm just going to lay it in my trimmer like that. And I'm going to slice up the side just enough to get that excess off of there. See, just a tiny little bit. And then I'm going to lay it this way and do the same thing. And if you notice when I cut, I always try to cut from the bottom up. And the reason for that is we have this nice little lip up here that holds our piece of cardstock very stable. So when you cut up, you're pushing it against that rather than pulling it away. And that gives you a much more even cut. It keeps your lines straighter. And that's always a good thing. I'm going to move that over just a hair more so that I can make sure that I get all of that edge off of there. There we go. And that looks really good now. And do I want to leave the writing at the bottom? I don't think I do. I thought I did, but now the more I think about it, I don't think so. So now I'm going to use a corner rounder, and I'm just going to round off my corners. And let's see, I have a 1/2 inch rounder here, which I think will work perfect for this particular piece. You don't want it to be too large of a rounder. You want it to be just enough to take off that just slight bit of the edge. Like that, and that, that, and that. And see, that gives you a nice little angle on it. So now this is going to fit pretty well into that oval. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my oval out of this piece of paper because I love this. I think it's so, so pretty. So I am just going to open up my die cut machine, and I'm going to grab my plates. And I think I want to cut this piece of paper down because we don't need that entire, we don't need the entire piece. We just need enough of it to encompass this die. And this die is not that wide, so I would say this is probably 3. Let's go 3 1/4. And I think that'll be good. And then we're going to put this right about here. And I'm going to lay this onto my die cut. Oh, this is so pretty. I think this is going to pair so good on this card. Look how gorgeous that is. And I think what I might want to do is pop that up with some foam tape. And I think that's going to really, oops. I think that's really going to look beautiful, centered right in the middle of these angle cuts. So, and then look at our picture. And I'm going to also pop that up. So let me get some foam tape. I'm going to grab my smaller roll. I'm going to cut a piece that's a little bit longer. I'm going to take it all the way up to the top. And I'm going to do a piece across here. If you hear the lawnmower, my husband's outside cutting grass, so it is making a bit of a noise, but hopefully not too bad. I think he's trying to get the grass cut before we get the rain from Hurricane Sally, which is going to swoop up from the Gulf and kind of inundate us with some rain. I just wish I could send some of that rain out to my friends on the West Coast. People are suffering so bad, and I so wish there was something I could do. But I'm praying for y'all. Just know that you are all in my prayers. So I'm going to cut another piece, and this is going to go right here. And here. Alrighty, so now we've got those with all of our backers on them. Let's grab us a little picky tool and let's go ahead and pull off our backers. Alright, this piece is ready. So let's go ahead and peel off of this side. Just like that, and now this piece is ready to go down. But if you notice, I got a little piece of adhesive showing, so I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim that back just like that and throw that in the trash. And I think I'm going to put the darker to the bottom. No rhyme or reason, but I just think it will look more anchored that way. And then we're just going to press that in. And then we are going to put our little girl, who looks so adorable, right about here. I love that. I love the vision that I saw on this card. I think it's gorgeous. So now I want to decide what type of sentiment do I want. And let's look back through our paper and see if there's anything in here that we can actually pull from. And this is cute. We could cut that off, but I don't think we could stamp on that. So let's go on through here. I'm not thinking that there's anything that will allow me to yeah, I don't think so. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go and look and see if I can find something in a tone, something like that. I'm going to look in my scraps and see what I can find, because I'd really love to do like a big hello across the top. And I think this would be a perfect card just to tell someone you're thinking of them. And I mean, just how precious is that little girl? Isn't she adorable? I really do love this. So let me go look and see what I've got, and we will be right back. Okay, everybody, I am back, and while I was gone, I went ahead and used this Hello stamp, and this is from the Borders Abound stamp set from Stampin' Up, and I love this Hello. I think it's a beautiful font, and I thought it would pair really well with this particular card, because it is sort of an old style, old world font. So what I did is, after I stamped it, I knew that this punch would be way too big for this card. So what I did is I punched it out where it was down low, and then all I done was took my scissors and cut completely straight across the top. I trimmed the edges down just a little teeny bit, and then I popped that up on some dimensional tape, and I used this little roll of Scotch dimensional foam tape and popped it up, as you can see. I took my my little Nouveau jewel drops that I made, and I put the 3 of them right here. And I cut a mat for the inside, and I cut this out of a craft cardstock. And all I want to do is get this in just about like that. But before I do, I want to put a sentiment on this, and I think with it being a hello card, I want something about thinking of you, or something to that effect. So let me look at my stamps. I got this stitched all around stamp set, and this stamp set is absolutely adorable. And I'm thinking, oh darling, you are fabulous. I think I love that over top of enjoy your special day, because I think your special day would be for something a little different than what I have in mind. Try to pull this and see if I can get that to lay down a little bit. This was one of my little borders that went a little cattywampus on me. So I'm going to take this stamp out, and I am going to pull out my mat because I think I want this to go right about here. And I want to look at this and see if I want to do a little bit of a border, and if I want to do it across here or up and down. And I'm thinking I want to do it up and down. So I'm going to grab this particular stamp block, and I'm hoping this is going to stamp good for me. I'm going to grab that same VersaFine Onyx Black again, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up the stamp. Now we're dealing with the photopolymer, I mean not the photopolymer, the cling stamp. So I'm thinking we might be okay with this without using a mat. And what I'm going to do is try to get this as even as I can. Just like that. Very pretty. And I'll ink it up again. And I'm going to try my best to get it as even on this side as I did on that side. Very pretty. I think that looks really good. And I'm going to grab this stamp, and I just want to put it right here in the middle, up just a little bit, because you know why I want it up. I want to leave room under here for signing our card. And I'm going to ink it up using that same VersaFine, my absolute favorite ink for doing sentiments. Oh darling, you are fabulous, and I think that fits this card beautifully. And other than using this and my stamps from Stampin' Up, and of course my punch, everything else in this card was from the E-Club Kit. So, you know, you have to pull out a few pieces or a few things from your own personal stash in order to make something come together. Now we can bring this back over, and I think we're ready to go ahead and use a little bit of our Stampin' Seal. And we are just going to put this down just like that. And we're going to do one little piece across here. Now remember what I told you, my technique is to hold the edge of my cardstock just like that, and then lay it down, and that will usually give you a perfect placement every time. So I think this little card came together really well. I think it, other than me forgetting to turn my camera back on when I did this, and I did glue these down just using some more glitter glue, I think that this card came together really cute. It is a little different, and I mean, I thought it turned out really cute. So I hope you liked it. I hope that you will try to replicate something like this using your Edith card kit for September. So much fun. I'm so glad that I got a chance to play with this today, and I absolutely love the way this came together. It's beautiful. And thank you, Edith, for the opportunity once again to to create for you. I appreciate it so much, and as I always say in closing in all of my videos, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. Be kind to someone today. Show love. We just never know what someone else is going through. It's not our place to pass judgment. It's our place to love them anyway. God, His Great Commission is to love others like you love yourself. So reach out to someone today. Show that you care and that you love them. And until we craft again, God bless and keep you always. I love you. Bye-bye.